primetime game. All eyes will be on them Sunday evening. Joining us to talk about that game is Ira Kaufman, Bucs and NFL columnist for JoeBucsFan.com. Ira, good to talk to you again. How are you?
Hey, buddy. The first thing you need to know is we're in the deep freeze over here. 40 degrees. We can't handle it. There's panic in the streets. And I just looked at the forecast for Sunday night.
Okay.
Possible light rain.
Uh-oh.
Light rain.
Okay.
What's the temp?
Not snow. So I don't know if that's going to help Daniels running the ball because people could be slipping and sliding. But I'm looking forward to a good game on Sunday night.
For sure. What are the temps going to be? Are they still going to be in the 40s or no?
I'm thinking 50s. Good football weather.
Okay. All right.
Weather.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the Bucs this year versus last year, and of course, the Commanders faced the Buccaneers in the first game, but you didn't really see that was a game where Baker Mayfield threw for 4 touchdowns. You didn't see the Bucky Irving effect. This year's team can run the football, huh?
You're absolutely right. That is the difference. That's the difference. Now, last year, they averaged 18 points a game. This year, they're close to 30. They got a new coordinator in Liam Cohn, who now is a hot commodity in terms of teams being interested in him as a head coach. Buck fans don't want to lose him. Some of them want Bowles fired and Cohn bumped up, more than a few, because Bowles still hasn't won over Buck fans, really has not, despite winning 10 games. They are an excellent running team because of this 4th-round pick named Bucky Irving.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's electric. He never runs in a straight line. He makes sharp cuts. Every game he breaks off a 30-yard run. Buck fans are not used to it. You got to remember, the last 2 years they were last in the league in rushing. Last. And now they're like 5th. They have a very balanced offense. And I think Dan Quinn's got a lot on his mind going into this game in terms of stopping the Bucs.
Ira, did you think that Baker Mayfield had 40-plus touchdown upside? Because I'll be honest, before this season, I just didn't see that kind of in his bag. Like maybe 28 to 30, like maybe 33 to 35 would be like his ceiling. But for him to be 41, and now he throws a decent number of picks with 16, but I didn't see him having. I didn't see him having that sort of touchdown upside. I know a lot of it has to do with Mike Evans, Godwin before he got hurt. But Baker, he took me by surprise with that leap in his touchdown numbers this year.
I'm with you on that. I think he had 28 last year, which was a very good year for him. So he's really ramped it up. Now, getting back to the running game, I think that's really helped Mayfield. When he had his really good year with the Browns, and they were in the playoffs, and I think they went into Pittsburgh and won, they had a robust running game, the Browns did. So last year, the Bucs couldn't run the ball, so this play action wasn't effective at all last year. Nobody respected the Buc running game. This year, different story with Irving on the scene. He had 1,500 yards from scrimmage, Bucky Irving, and not bad for a 4th-round pick. So now the play action is working. I'll tell you the one part about Mayfield that's really shocked me. He's not Jaden Daniels. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, in terms of scrambling ability. He's not. But the guy's run, he ran for 68 yards last week in the biggest game of the season. He's got a knack on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12. He goes up the middle, he finds a crease, and he runs for a first down. Those are backbreakers for the Washington defense. You don't think about that with Baker Mayfield necessarily. He's not fast. He's not particularly quick. But he's tough as hell. He never looks to the sidelines. He'll take a shot. And that's why, Buck fans and his teammates, they just love this guy.
Yeah. And he's thrown the ball 570 times, Ira. Only 4 quarterbacks have thrown the ball more. So I don't really penalize him for the picks because he's thrown so many balls. But getting back to last week, and I watched a lot of the game. What alarmed you about Tampa, especially in the first half? Because I thought the Buccaneers were going to run away with this. They were favored by almost 15 points. They were a huge favorite, and I thought, you know what, the Saints are playing a backup quarterback. They got nothing to play for. But Rattler was beating them pretty handily. What alarmed you until the fourth quarter when they made that comeback?
Well, we were all stunned in the press box during the first 30 minutes. We were. Rattler threw for 180. They were up 16-6 at the half. The Saints, as you said, nothing to play for. Interim coach. They're all banged up. And the Bucs stunk in the first half. The defense was terrible. This is the second time in 3 weeks. The same thing happened in Dallas when Cooper Rush threw for 180 in the first half. And then they tighten up at halftime. I don't know if they make some adjustments. I don't know if Bowles reams them out. It's unclear. But, in the second half, they clamped down. But, you can't get away with that against the better teams. And Washington's a much better team than New Orleans and a better team than Dallas. So this, Jekyll and Hyde with the Bucs defense, which hasn't been great this year. It's very, mediocre. I'd say the same thing about the Commanders' defense. It's okay. Nothing great. So that's why you think this could be, a 31-28 game Sunday night. But you're right. The first half against New Orleans was absolutely awful. Awful.
Talking to Ira Kaufman, Bucs NFL columnist for JoeBucksFan.com. So the midseason, the Commanders pick up Marshon Lattimore. And we learn kind of about this history he has with Mike Evans. You've witnessed this. Fill us in because we're just kind of reading up on it and finding out more about it. But what's going on here between Lattimore and Evans? Looks like Lattimore will play.
Well, every time the Bucs played the Saints, and they play them twice a year in the division, and Lattimore was with New Orleans, it was the game within the game. We all watched it. And Lattimore, told Sean Payton, I got Evans. I got Evans. Which you would think is a dangerous strategy because Evans is, going to the Hall of Fame. But Lattimore had his way. He got under Evans' skin. He was physical. Evans would retaliate. They always get the guy that goes second. Evans would get a flag. Evans would lose his focus, his concentration. Lattimore would goad him into penalties, into drops. I would say in that individual battle over the years, I think Lattimore had the edge over Mike Evans, and that's a credit to Lattimore. He got into Evans' head. He's going to try to do it again Sunday night. Now, last week, I got to tell you, that pass to Evans that put him over the 1,000 mark, that was a very emotional moment in Tampa for a guy that's beloved. And can you imagine being up 8 points with 35 seconds left, and instead of taking a knee,
throw the ball? Could have been a pick. Could have been a pick six. Yeah,
could have been a pick six. That would have been the end of Bowles.
Because they knew they knew the ball was going to Evans 100%.
You're absolutely right. The Saints were talking about it. I can't believe they didn't triple team him.
Right.
But it was a quick pass, and then he ran for another 4 or 5 yards. So, very emotional moment for Evans. Got the game ball after the game. We'll see how he reacts when he sees his old buddy on the field in a different uniform Sunday night. But Evans is, he's still the go-to guy, especially with the injury to Godwin. When Godwin got hurt, I believe it was in the 7th game, he had 50 catches in the 7th game. He had 50. He was the best player on the Bucs at the time. And since then, they've still, averaging 30 points. It's really a credit to Liam Cohn. He's done a heck of a job as a coordinator. They don't want to lose him. But getting the ball to Evans is still the best strategy for the Bucs.
Yeah. What is Tampa going to do about Jaden Daniels getting out of the pocket and getting, 70, 80, maybe 100 yards? Because that's been a huge strength.
I asked Bowles that yesterday at the podium. What do you tell your pass rushers against guys like Daniels, Jackson, Josh Allen? He says it really has a huge effect on the guys up front because you're trying to be disciplined. You're trying to stay in your lanes. Don't let them get outside. But then if you think about that too much, now it's affecting, how close you can get to Daniels and affect his throwing. So it's a real challenge. Now, look, Bowles has been around the block a long time, and he's faced a lot of running quarterbacks. I got to tell you, I remember week 1. Daniels did not play bad as his first game as a pro. He played pretty well, I thought. They just couldn't stop Mayfield at that point. And, of course, Irving was not a big factor at that time. One point I want to make about Sunday night is the Buck O-line, which hasn't been really good for the last 10 years. It's really good this year. Really good. Opening up holes, protecting Mayfield. I think they're gonna give Washington's D-line a lot of problems. Their tackles are outstanding. Wirf's on the left side. This kid Gedeke on the right side. Then they got a rookie center who's good, and they added in a left guard from the Giants. So this offensive line is formidable, and I think it's going to be a big challenge for Washington.
So, Ira, let's talk about one of
Your mic.
Your mic's bad. Valdez, there you go.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better now?
Your mic's working now.
So Antoine Winfield has missed the last month with a knee injury. He was had been limited in practice, but full participant yesterday. What's him going to be back in the mix? How is that going to impact the Bucs defense, which has had trouble stopping people through the air?
Yeah.
No question about it. He's definitely going to play. There's not any question. Winfield's going to play. They've been waiting for this. Now, I got to be honest. When he's been healthy this year, he hasn't been the same player as in 2023 when he was fantastic. The guy was he was all over the stat sheet last year. Forced fumbles, interceptions, blitzes, sacks, tackles, everywhere. All pro season for Winfield. He hasn't been the same this year. They gave him a lot of money. Some people think it went to his head, but you never know. I think his presence allows Bowles to do some creative things on that side of the ball. He's very versatile, and he plays all over the field. He's got a knack for making plays down near the goal line, knocking the ball out of a guy's hands, before he reaches the end zone. He's their go-to guy in the secondary. And you're right. Their pass defense, not very good this year. Not very good. And a lot of people think Bowles is playing too soft. He doesn't trust his corners. They're playing 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. I don't think Bowles wants to get beat deep. And with McLaurin, who I think is a hell of a player, I just put him on my all-pro team, second team, because you're not going to beat out, Chase and Jefferson at the top. But I got McLaurin on my all-pro ballot. I think he's that good. And he's got his own 1,000-yard streak going. People don't even know about that. And he did it without much of a quarterback till this year, right?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bowles is very worried about McLaurin, who I think got off to a slow start this year. I think he did.
Yep.
But he's coming on strong. I think he's definitely the focal point for Bowles on that side of the ball.
Ira, good to reconnect with you. It's good to hear from you. You'll be rooting for the Bucs. We will not. We'll be rooting for the Commanders to advance, but good to talk to you, man.
Good job.
Hey, send some of that Washington warmth down here to Tampa. Come on.
Right. Okay.
Just trolling us from 800 miles away. I'm guessing. I don't know how far. Thanks, Ira. Appreciate it. He's a Bucs and NFL columnist for JoeBucksFan.com. Been on the show many, many times over the years.
He is awesome.
He is great.